just wanna lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Something for the live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into January 25th, 2021, and the stock market is going to go crazy this weekend. I have 5 different earnings plays. We have a very big earnings week, but our work is going to be cut out for us. We have a lot of earnings as far as big name companies, Apple, Microsoft, Starbucks, Facebook, Johnson & Johnson, the list goes on. I'm going to go over all of the earnings this week, but we are also going to hear from the Fed, and we have a lot of different economic data which could potentially move the market, not to mention we are coming off of this transition with the Biden administration. So we have a lot to talk about. I want to go over what we're looking at this week, the events, economic, even policy, as well as now the earnings and all of the plays we're going to be looking at. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the-stock-market. You can post the play, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life, and yes, if you want to go on an earnings safari and see the earnings animal kingdom with Nigel, then yeah, we are the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad, baby. And please do not forget, we have the random account generator, and we need your help if you're watching this. This is the random account. We started this last year with $500, and what we do is on this Monday watch list, we ask that you guys post a random option play. We do a random comment picker, we make the play, and then we see the performance, and so far it is just up under 1,000%. So shout out to Chad, baby. Post the option play, strike price, date, expiration, and everything, and we suggest you get a lot of time. I believe we actually saw our first loss or an expiration because of a short term last week. So post and play. Thank you. We love you. So right off the bat, like we said, policy is going to be a big factor this week, but earnings is probably going to be the key. But it is not the biggest earnings week. So what you're going to see this week is going to be a lot of the bigger name companies. A lot of the companies reporting, you should know their names. Again, the Microsofts, Apples, all that. I believe Amazon got pushed back. They were supposed to be this week, but we are going to see a lot of the bigger name companies. And then next week, you're going to get a lot more just overall companies. So there's not that many companies reporting every day this week, but these are the ones that could have an impact on the market. Again, you saw what happened with Netflix last week, so some of these companies like Apple and all that, it's going to be fun to watch, but it could also give us some implications here for the market. So earnings is going to be the main focus. We're going to go over the plays and all of that. That is what I'm going to be looking at. Again, also the policy administration and all of that. But now, on Thursday, you are going to hear from Jerome Powell. Now, he's not expected to do much given what we've already heard from him, but we will see, because now what I want to be looking for and why this may potentially make a move or could be important, because we want to see if there's any clues or any guidance as far as the new administration, how Powell plans to operate, if there's anything, that could be changing. So we will watch that. I think it is going to be important, but it is not expected to surprise the market more or less. Now, this is where the economic data comes in. You are going to get GDP numbers, home sales data, Case-Shiller, all the new sales, all of that stuff, as well as like the Dallas Fed and then the Chicago PMI. But this data is about 1 month, a month and a half older. It's reporting from last month. So we're going to see it might be a little bit bad, but lately we've seen some of these numbers surprise. And if there is a good number, it could give a boost to the market. However, I think after we see some of these bigger companies report, that is either going to be the gas or brakes for the market this week. So watch that. But finally, putting the whole picture together, especially after we see this week and next week, and then again, the Fed and all of that, I want to just watch the dollar and then the bonds and how is that going to affect coming into just earnings, policy, and the Fed. These are pretty much the 3 main drivers right now in the market, and depending on how earnings plays out, depending on how all of this stuff goes, I'm pretty sure we are going to get a signal from kind of the trifecta. So I hope your eyes are peeled and I hope you're ready. But as far as all of the earnings though, here is the list. I will go over this individually every day. Monday is not usually a hot or active earnings day, so Tuesday is when everything is really going to be kicking off. Here are the plays in the morning, and like we've said, if you want to play these plays, if you're trying to make any of the earnings moves, If it reports Tuesday morning, your last opportunity is to get it on Monday before close. So the company's reporting on Tuesday. I'll just call out the ones that I think are going to be a little bit bigger. Again, there is a lot more companies I missed. Again, source that information, chat. If you guys got ones you like, post them below in the comments. But Johnson & Johnson, 3M, GE, I don't think is going to move as much. Lockheed Martin, VZ, RTX, I think all of those are pretty much going to be not too much. J&J and 3M have the biggest potential in my opinion. Then after hours on Tuesday, you're going to get Microsoft, Starbucks, AMD, Texas Instruments, First Five, COF, and Hawaiian Airlines. I like Microsoft, Starbucks, AMD, even AMD for a potential pre-run-up. TXN, you've seen kind of that one surprise in the past, so that could be good. And then First Five is one of those I think that has the potential to move, but it may surprise out of nowhere. It could be a dud. So don't forget the option pricing and what the option chain is telling you. So that is Tuesday. Wednesday morning, you're going to get BA, AT&T, Abbott, Anthem, and then VFC. After hours, you're going to get Apple, Tesla, Facebook. These are going to be the main ones. I do want to look at all of those. We are kind of positioned in them. LRCX, this could be another good one. Again, chip maker. Levi for retail. That's related to VFC. Whirlpool, WHR. I think they got some news last week, so that one could be interesting. LVS, I'm not too certain on it. ServiceNow, this is one that can move a lot, but it also could not do much. That's why the options are both expensive, but it's a low float stock. It could move. And then the rest, CP, URI, SYK, HOLX, CREE. I think these are important, but I don't know if they're really play worthy. Then Thursday morning, you're going to get McDonald's, AAL, McKesson, MasterCard, Southwest Airlines, Tractor Supply, JetBlue, and Sherwin-Williams. I forgot this part too. You're also going to get MO, NOC, STM, MSCI, VLO, SWK, and ABMD. Out of all of these, I'm going to like the McDonald's. Again, you're seeing the airlines already, but McDonald's, Tractor Supply Co., and Sherwin-Williams, I think can make the biggest moves. And then after hours on Thursday, you start to see, bigger names, but it's not the same big ones. Again, a lot of the Dow components are the ones we know this week, but you're going to get Visa, Skyworks, Team, WDC, X, Juniper, and Mondelez. And then Friday morning, Caterpillar, SAP, and remember, they got clapped off of their European guidance last earnings, so this one might have a little bit more in it. Eli Lilly, Chevron, HON, CL, and then PSX. So there is going to be a lot of companies, as you see. You get the big names, but then even next week, there's going to be a lot more, so be careful. Control the balances, play the strategies, make things free. Don't get too gambly, and I hope you're ready, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I had to move it down a little bit, but I am going to be looking at a lot of the earnings run-up. So you guys remember I made that fluke play on IBM. I thought I had an extra day. I want to see if those opportunities exist. Once I get to the charts here, I'm going to show you a little trick you could see, but the key is finding the companies that have earnings run-ups or that are going to be reporting that could potentially move big into it, but it is finding the companies that did not already move. So every single one of these companies, as far as the plays is concerned, all of them are going to be reporting, and what I'm going to be looking to do is buying these before the earnings, hopefully being able to sell back, make it free or ghetto spread it so that we could get an earnings play, or if we're going to see that momentum and volatility. So it may or may not happen. If you have watched us play earnings, you could kind of understand the strategy, so be careful to understand. None of this is a recommendation. Option trading is extremely risky. Can lose most financial advice on purpose only. Thank you for a wonderful day. But in all seriousness though, you could watch this a few times, and again, depending on how we report with this earnings, that is going to affect the companies next week. So as far as the first play, I am going to be looking at Tesla. This one is going to be a little bit more expensive, but the one thing that I do like with Tesla, I will show you here. This is what I'm looking for as far as earnings run-up strategy, because it hasn't really moved in the last 5 or 6 days. So this could be a really good earnings run-up, because now coming into Monday and Tuesday, I believe they report Tuesday after hours. It may kick into gear tomorrow or the day of earnings. And, again, as the caveat, it could also go down in value leading into earnings. Some companies do sell off. So regardless, just like any earnings, it is a gamble of really what direction is it going to go, and depending on the price, it may not make sense to play both ways. But that is going to be the first play, and you can see here so that's going to be the first play, but notice how Tesla looks. The next play I'm going to be looking up for earnings run up, just because it's been one of those tech stocks that kind of has not really moved too much in the last 100 days relative to the overall market, Facebook. But now take a look here, go look at whatever Facebook's pricing in. It's probably pricing in 4 or 5%. That's pretty much what it has done in the last 4 days. So coming into earnings, you see this is one of those companies reporting on Tuesday, same day as Tesla, but now Tesla hasn't moved. You see Facebook is already ran up into it. It was kind of like Intel's earnings with what we saw last week. So this is one that I think may not have the earnings run up. So what I am looking for is some of these companies that haven't really made that move. So with that being said, now watch McDonald's. That is going to be the third play. It's kind of popped off, but you can see how it's kind of held here. You guys have seen how we played McDonald's in the past, one of those slower moving mover, value stocks with a little bit of growth in it. So I like it. I want to look, but how McDonald's option chain usually plays out, it's either really, really cheap usually or really, really expensive. So you have to be careful. And then I kind of play Home Depot as a weird sympathy play to McDonald's if you guys have ever watched. So that is going to be the third play. As far as the fourth play now, I want to watch Apple. I have these leaps. If you guys remember, I believe we're even holding some on the random account, but if you guys remember this play, it was all over the place. These March 160s, I was up 40-50% a few weeks ago after being down 40-50%. Then it went back down again, and now you see it's back at 20%. So I am firmly already in this pre-run up, but I want to see what happens because Apple's one of those big names, and depending on how Apple reports, this could give a lot of steam to the market here. So I really, really like them, but again, as another example, you could see leading into the earnings, it's already made a big move, so this one may already be priced in, or usually if it runs up the days before, usually leading into the final day, it might either just sell off or stall until the earnings report comes in, and then that could kill the premiums. If you guys remember when we even traded Netflix, that is exactly what happened as it was kind of reporting. We got it that day before. Premiums were really, really high, and then the premiums dropped all throughout the day until the company reported, then it shot up. So watch them. And then finally, Starbucks. This is one of those that it kind of resembles McDonald's in a way. They're going to have earnings. I believe they're Monday after hours, so you're not really going to have too much time to get a pre-earnings run-up. I actually want to see if we could even make an earnings play. I just like Starbucks in general. It's a little bit of a slower mover, but you got to be careful on the out of the monies here because it doesn't move too much. So I want to look at the option pricing, and I want to see how it trades coming into tomorrow. Then finally, as far as everything else, there's a few other stocks I'm going to be looking at. I'm even going to add this for all of the degenerate gamblers out there. You know, I made a weekly on it or a daily in the midst of everything, but watch Blackberry. This is one of those zombie companies that people have been just buying, and I don't know how it is with the options and all that, so I want to see it, but a lot of attention on that. People are talking. I'm just putting it up there so you guys know, but we will see how that plays out, and if anything, the play I'm looking for as far as a short squeeze potential even coming into earnings, I made this play on Thursday or Friday. I think I did make it on Friday. I grabbed the big commerce play. I added to this position, and then I grabbed 20 of the April 170 calls, a lot more further out of the money than this other one here, so these ended up closing up, but I just like the idea. I got these for $1.13, a little bit shorter as far as time concerned, but I'm just playing any sort of short squeeze play. I would rather play it on a company that I like and that has a high short interest if the market starts to get a little bit wild and exuberant with everything, so we'll even watch how BB plays out, but I like big commerce. And then that even reminds me, as far as even other plays, here's Intel. If you guys remember that earnings strangle, this was that 61 put, 61 call. They expired, and now if you notice here, I now own 200 shares of Intel because the 61 call expired. We collected the premium, but then that 61 put, it was in the money, and then the stock closed at like $56, way below that. So what ended up happening, if you hold a contract that's in the money on expiration, it will automatically be exercised. So now has turned into 200 shares of Intel at $61, and now you see here I'm down $976, but remember I collected $750, so I could sell out of this. We'll talk about like the wheel strategy, how I could play out and how we can move around here, but in reality I'm down about $200 because we collected $750 in premium. So I'm now in that play. We are going to be watching that. That was an earnings play from last week. We'll see how that one plays out, so keep your eye on Intel. Like we said, Facebook, McDonald's, Starbucks. Again, watching Netflix, we did that ghetto spread. It's actually still holding up, so it was actually a really, really good move. If you guys see here, we are still holding $1,100 of profit, but we were able to profit off of the contract that we sold, and then we still have some of the profit from the $5.95. It pretty much is equating to really what it was when it was at the high. So I am going to watch Netflix. I think that's going to be a good one. And then watch UWMC, still holding the shares, but now Friday was its first official trading day. I want to see how it plays out and how it goes from here. So I'm going to keep a tentative eye on that throughout the day. Then Qualcomm, again, this is one of those earnings one. Had a little bit of a mini earnings run up, but you are going to see AMD earnings. So I want to see how that plays out. Still up 20% on those other contracts. So the premium is not decaying as much. That could be some of the earnings effect. Then, like we said, Tesla and Intel. And then finally, TLT and UUP are going to be the key. And like I was saying here, you're going to get the Fed, you're going to get the earnings. And really, I think after the Fed, it might make a move, but especially after some of these bigger earnings, just like we saw after Netflix, how some of the S&P companies and everything started moving. I think once you start to get the reports here, and then once you start seeing how the policy and everything else is going, mixed in if there is any guidance or clues from the Fed, I believe we are finally going to start breaking from these levels that are plateauing, and then we're going to see what's really going to happen. So it's going to be exciting, and I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining, and don't forget what the armor's for, baby. I need you to balance the budget and stay in the game. But the Cole loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the morning. Let's go.